Hi guys, happy Sunday. I just want some credit, first of all, that this is the third video in 2 weeks, so give me some credit, but I'm trying to be better about making these videos. Anyway, I have a lot of fun stuff that I want to talk to you about, but first, I wanted to let you know that I'm going to do this video a little bit differently. I'm going to give away a $10 Amazon gift card to someone who comments with the questions that I'm going to ask at different points during the video. So you just have to answer the questions and put your answers in the comment section of the blog post that goes with this video. The link will be near wherever you're watching, and you'll have to comment there just so it's easier, it's all in one place. But you have to comment on the blog post with those answers, and then I will pick someone randomly to win a $10 gift card to Amazon so you can buy a book that you want. So the first question that I want you guys to answer down below is to tell me what you're reading, and if you're not reading anything right now, and I'm talking about like what book are you reading, I'm not talking about like what you're reading this post or you're watching this video, like I'm talking about like what book are you reading. And tell me what you're reading. If you want to give it a Goodreads link below so that other people can click on the link to add it to their to-read list, do that. But question number one is, what are you reading? But first of all, I swear this is not going to be a video about Richelle Mead in its entirety, but I just wanted to talk with you guys about my exciting Richelle Mead news from this past week. Tuesday was the 10th anniversary edition release. I bought it. Came in on Tuesday. I'm so excited. I haven't had a chance to read the extra chapters. They're in the back here, but it's a lot of stuff. Like, this is all new, if you can see. Like, all this stuff is new content. So it's quite a bit, and the book is kind of thick. So, yeah. So Tuesday was the 10th anniversary of the Vampire Academy, and the release of the 10th anniversary edition. And she did a live video, which you guys should watch. I'll put a link down below so you can see it. But anyway, she did a live video which took questions from the audience, and she talked about a lot of different stuff, but she talked about Age of X. And if you guys have been following me, you guys know that I have been dying, like dying for the third Age of X book. I'm sure that Narita is so sick of me crying and whining about how we don't have a release date for the third Age of X book. Age of X, the first two books, which are right here, Game Board of the Gods and The Immortal Crown, they did not do very well for Richelle Mead. They didn't sell very well, and this is not something that I am like trying to be like critical of her. This is something that she talked about in a post earlier this year. At the time of her post, which I think was in May, she said The Immortal Crown, I think she said, sold like a fraction of what one of her recent books sold in like a month. In any event, they didn't sell well at all, but I think they're really good. I've talked about them before, but just a brief rundown of what the series is about. It's a kind of futuristic, not sci-fi, but more set in the future. The United States has kind of merged with Canada, and it's now called the Republic of North America. And it's set in a world where religion is monitored by people called servitors. They have to have licenses to practice certain religions, and the government is kind of against the law to believe in gods or believe in the supernatural or believe in unlicensed gods. Basically, it's illegal to have a religion unless you have a license. And the two main characters are Justin March and May, and I can't remember her last name. Oh my gosh. I can't remember her. It's a name. It's something I can't pronounce. Anyway, May. And Justin was a servitor until he got essentially like kicked out of the country for reasons that you'll find out in the book. But he's been kicked out, and May has gotten a little bit of trouble. May is a Praetorian guard, and she is basically, Praetorians are chemically altered humans. They are badasses, and everybody's scared of them, but they're really strong, and they work for the government, and she's a total badass. She gets into some trouble in the beginning of the book, and her punishment is that she has to take off her uniform, first of all, but she has to go down and retrieve Justin in the provinces in Panama, basically get him for this government mission. There's these high-powered people in the government that keep being killed by this mysterious being, and so they want him to kind of investigate it and come back kind of on a special mission type of thing. And if he's successful with investigating this thing, then he might get his citizenship back. But, so May goes down there and they kind of, they kind of butt heads a little bit in the beginning, I guess is how I'll say it. But they have this great chemistry. She's really, really smart and like strong and amazing, and Justin's really funny and also really smart. He has this kind of special gift of perception. He can read people really well. He can read situations really well, which help him in what he does. But there's this great like sexual tension between the two of them, and for reasons that you'll find out in the book, they cannot act on anything, and there's just this great slow burn. But a lot of the criticism, and what my criticism was of this one too, was that the world is very complex, which is, I guess, a criticism and a praise. I didn't fully appreciate the book until after I finished it and had kind of thought about it some, because it is very complex. It's very, very different than her other books. But what I love about this series is Justin and May's relationship. And it's not even necessarily the romantic side of things. It's just they have this great respect, kind of like what I said with Vampire Academy. That's what Rochelle Mead's good at. She creates these great couples. And anyway, they have to work together to try to find out what's going on, and it's just so good. And this book ends like in the most heart-wrenching, like, oh my goodness way, and then she's left us hanging for 2.5 years. I love a good cliffhanger, but oh my god. So what I want to know is, do you guys like cliffhangers? Like, do you guys like the feeling of a good cliffhanger, or are you just like a across the board, no, I don't like cliffhangers? I'm just curious. So anyway, in her video that she posted last Tuesday, she said that book 3 is coming. I don't know if this means that she's gonna self-publish it. I don't know if it means she's going to, she has a contract with a publisher, but it makes me hella excited that we're gonna get a 3rd book, because I'm dying. I'm dying! Anyway, that was like my most exciting news of the week. Like, all my friends were like, I'm really happy for you, Megan. And I'm like, thanks, because I'm like super excited. Anyway, okay, enough about that. On my blog for December, I'm going to be running some giveaways. And it's just about books that I really, really liked this year. So my first one's gonna go up this week. And so check back if you want to enter for a chance to win one of my favorite books. I'm also, in one of these, going to be giving away one of these, which they're blank journals. They're Lectürm. I'm probably ruining the pronunciation. It's a German journal. But I just started bullet journaling in the last few months, and it's really fun. It's a kind of a mix between a diary, a journal, and a planner. It's like a productivity thing, but you can also create what's called collections. So like books that you want to read, or habit trackers, health trackers. It's really fun. It's helped me be way more productive, both in my like daily home life and like at work. So I'm going to be giving away one of these and one of my favorite things, because I love bullet journaling, and maybe one of you might want to, and if not, you can just use it for a journal. I don't care what you use it for, but I just liked it, and I want to give away a copy of one of these journals to you guys. Not in this video, but in one of my favorite things, upcoming giveaways. So that's happening. Check back on my blog to enter those giveaways. Like I said, the first one's going to come up this week. And then the next thing I wanted to talk with you guys about is just a question for readers. And bloggers can answer too, obviously, but because we're readers too. But it's something that I've noticed, and I just kind of want to get your take on it. You know, I was on Facebook on Black Friday, and I got to thinking, I thought, you know, Black Friday Facebook with all of the buy links and buy this, that's really like what every day is like in the book world. And what I mean by that is I just feel like book blogging has started to move towards a more affiliate link, empty promotion type of content on social media, at least, and away from like a more personalized, cherry-picked, hand-picked content on social media. And my question to you is, does that bother you? This is not a question for the giveaway. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. But does that bother you? For me, if I choose to promote something, it's because I'm either interested in it or I've read it and I liked it. I kind of have like a litmus test, and the litmus test is, if I wasn't potentially going to make money on someone clicking on this link and buying it, if that was going to go away, would I still post the thing that I'm going to post about? And if the answer is no, then I clearly won't post it. But I feel like that's probably not how other people operate. And what that tells me is that there's a lot of motivation for people to post for money purposes instead of, you know, genuine excitement. And I just miss that. I think it's kind of sad that blogging is kind of missing that element, that kind of personal connection. I feel like we're kind of given like everything and you're hoping that something just sticks, versus just this more like personal like connection with the reader type of thing. And you know, I miss that as a reader. I feel like 5 years ago, granted there were less books coming out than there are now, but there was more of that like personal connection with the person behind the blog, and you knew that whatever they were sharing, they were like actually excited about. And I don't know if that's happening as much now. I do have an upcoming releases page where I have, you know, every book that I can find that's coming out on a particular day, you know, with some filters. Like, I don't share every single thing on there, but I have a wide range of genres that the books may not always appeal to me on there. Some of the books don't appeal to me, but I feel like it's totally different than me taking that extra step and like promoting it on social media and kind of giving the impression that I am excited about it. I feel like my page is more of a resource for people and for myself, because I like to know what's coming out just to inform myself. So what do you guys think? That was a really long-winded section. The next thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is the books that I just finished reading. I finished this one last week. It's called Crazy Messy Beautiful by Carrie Arkos. It comes out in February. It's a young adult novel. It's coming of age. And just a little rundown of what it's about. It's about a guy named Neruda. He is named after the poet Pablo Neruda. And Neruda and his family, they're of Chilean descent. And so Pablo Neruda has kind of been a staple in their household. His dad has always read him the poetry. And so Neruda has kind of this, he's kind of like a softie and like very sensitive and very in touch with his feelings. He's an artist. And he's just kind of that kind of guy. And he has this very like romanticized view of love. And he has it in his head that there is one person out there for him, one person and one person only. He's gonna find her. He's on this quest to find his one true love. And so I think he's gone through like 7 different girls, and they all like, it just didn't work out with them. Like, they either didn't like him or didn't want to go out with him. So he's just really wanting to find that person. And in this book, he meets a girl. He's like, she's gonna be the one. And she rejects him, and so he's all sad. But then he's partnered with Callie in English class to do kind of a mutual get-to-know-you thing for a project, and he's paired with her, and she wasn't at all on his radar. But as they start to hang out, he really starts to like her, and now they start hanging out when they're not just working on their English project. And so he's like, maybe she's the one. Maybe she's gonna be the one for me. It's a really good story, coming of age, learning about what love is and what's important, and how love can come in different forms. And that's all I'm gonna say about this book. I did like it, and I did want to read one of my favorite moments from the book, and none of this is spoilery, but I think this quote really sums up a lot about what the book is about. So this is a letter from Neruda's friend, who is in prison, and he ends up getting out of prison in the book. But his friend is writing him this letter. He says, "This might sound strange, but here's a truth that comes in the dark. The ugliest, hardest, meanest men cry when they think no one can hear. They would be ashamed if they knew others could hear, but through all these years, I've clung to that sound because it gives me hope. makes me realize we are all the same in the middle of the night, fighting against the great tide of loneliness that threatens to drown us, all longing for someone to hear, to truly know us as we are. Thanks for knowing me. I bookmarked that quote. It was towards the beginning of the book, and when I finished it, I was like, I think that pretty much captures what this book is about. So if you want to check it out, I'll link to it in the blog post. So that's Crazy, Messy, Beautiful by Carrie Arcos. Before that, I finished this thriller, and I don't know if I have a light in front of me and it may not, I can't tell. But anyway, it's called Everything You Want Me to Be by Mindy Mejia. I think that's how you pronounce her name, I'm not sure. But it is a thriller, mystery, whodunit, and oh my goodness, this book was so good. I couldn't put it down. It's set in a small town in Minnesota. A high school senior is found brutally stabbed to death in an abandoned barn. And the sheriff that has to investigate it is her father's best friend. He feels like this special connection to this case because he knew Hattie. He knew her, so he's got to find out who did it. And there are so many people in this story that suspects, but what makes this book so riveting and so unputdownable was that it's told in 3 different points of view. You have the sheriff, you have Hattie, and then you have the new English teacher in town. And so once her body is found, the story goes between the past and the present being the investigation, the past being the beginning of the school year and forward, figuring out what happened leading up to her body being found. And lots of twists and turns. It was really good. That's all I really want to say. I will say that Hattie has lots of secrets, and you don't know all of her secrets until the very end. She had a lot of things that she didn't tell her parents. They didn't know a side of her. And I think that was by design. She put on different roles for people. She kind of changed herself depending on who her audience was, and which is fitting because she's an actress as well. But she also acts in her everyday life, apparently. So, Everything You Want Me to Be by Mindy Mejia. I recommend it. It's really good. I'll have my review up soon, so you should totally check it out. Then I wanted to share this book with you before I talk about the next book that I just finished. I got this in the mail. I've been really excited to read this one. It is called It Happens All the Time by Amy Hatveney. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I feel like I butcher last names on here all the time. But it is about rape, and that's kind of been a hot topic issue this year with all the rapes on college campuses, and that's pretty much what this book is about. This girl, and Amber and Tyler have been best friends, and one night they have a little bit too much to drink and things go too far, and it is just about that. So I really cannot wait to read this. It looks really, really good. The cover's heartbreaking, but check this out. Can't wait to read it. It comes out not till the end of March, but I think there's a giveaway right now actually on Goodreads, so if you want to enter that, you totally can. But I'll let you guys know what I think when it gets closer to the time for when this comes out. But yeah, check it out. And then the other book that I just finished reading, I finished reading it yesterday, Saturday, and holy moly. It is called I Love You, asterisk, subject to the following terms and conditions. And it's not going to have the cover on here because it's an advanced copy. Let me see if I can pull the cover up here while I'm talking. You can kind of see the cover. This is the cover. You can kind of see it. I don't know. That's what it looks like. Just so you have a visual. But it's different. It's a unique twist on the trope of Playboy guy doesn't want to commit type of thing. And she makes it different by making the setting a little bit different. It's set in America and it's set in modern times, but people don't get married. They have signing ceremonies, they sign contracts. And instead of divorces, they have breaches of contracts. And, contracts are for 7 years, and at the end of the 7 years, you can either just choose to re-up or you can walk away. And so it's kind of interesting. It definitely creates some interesting human dynamics. The book is about Kate. She's a 34-year-old recent law school graduate, and she just passed the California bar, which kudos. That is a 3-day long nightmare, and I would never want to take it. But Kate is signed to a really great guy. He's so hot, so great, but she is unemployed. She was interning at a law firm and they went with someone else for a job opening, and so she's super sad. So she and her friend decided to go out and have a little drink to kind of, you know, deal with this. And she's approached by this really hot guy, like ridiculously hot. And they start talking and she's like,
I know who you are. I know what you are. You're a contract killer.
Contract killers are men who only go after women who are signed, presumably because there's no chance of them wanting more, I guess. Starts talking to him and they kind of have this great chemistry already, but she's like, why am I? I shouldn't be liking this guy because I'm like married. And just so you know, there's no like infidelity or anything like that. He's definitely coming on super strong, and she's like,
dude, I'm signed. I'm definitely not interested in what you're offering, so you can just go ahead and move along.
but they have this great chemistry, and he's very charming, but like not in a like purely player way. I think he likes her and is super amused by her. He gets his number because he's like, I think I might be able to help you with your job situation. And so she goes home, and the next day her partner tells her that he canceled the contract, that he's not re-signing, and it shatters her whole world, breaks her heart, and has to move in with her parents and everything. Well, she ends up having to take her uncle up on a job offer that she didn't really want to take, and it's in the area of the signing law, which she really didn't want to do, signing law. And this is all in the synopsis, so I'm not giving anything away, and it's all in the very beginning of the book, by the way. There's a lot more that happens. But anyway, she's like, okay, well, now Adam's not going to be interested in me, but he strangely is. He continues to be interested in her, even though she's not a signed woman, which is confusing to her because she begins to really like him. And so what will become of them? Will Adam be jealous if she decides to move on? She doesn't have to be waiting around for anybody. It was super entertaining. Kate is really funny. She's really witty. She's smart. They have this great chemistry, like ridiculous chemistry. It was one of those books that I stayed up late reading until like midnight, which I'm an early to bed person, and that is late for me. And I couldn't put it down. When I was at work, I was like, I can't wait to go home and read some more of this. It was so good. And this book has one of the best kisses ever, I think. So if those things are interesting to you, you should check this out. It comes out on January 10th. And then I was going to tell you guys, I'm going to have probably a favorites of some sort, books of 2016. And so I wanted to know what your favorite book of 2016 is. So tell me what your favorite book is. That's the third giveaway question. The 3 questions. So you should have 3 answers below. And then if you want to answer my question about the social media stuff that I talked about, you can, or that's not an entry to the giveaway. But there are 3 questions in this video that you should answer. So that was a really long video. I feel like all of my videos are long. Tell me what you're reading. What have you finished and what have you really liked? What have you finished something and didn't like it? I don't care. Tell me all the things. Hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you soon. Bye!